Won multiple Emmy Awards for her work in Glee. I love everything that she does, not just because I was on Hollywood Game Night that she hosts, but truly one of the funniest people around. And she's in Ralph Breaks the Internet with John C. Reilly, Sarah Silverman, Jack McBrayer, Gal Gadot, Taraji P. Henson, Alfred Molina, and more. Ed O'Neill, who I love.
Right.
That's coming up in theaters near you in a couple Wednesday. Good to see you, Jane.
Good to be
Lynch.
here, Rich.
Good to see you.
What if my name were Rich? I'd be Rich Lynch.
You would be, well...
Well, I wouldn't. My name wouldn't be Rich.
Well, in terms of... I'll go here. I'll go here to start this thing, Jane.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of Rich, there's many different variations.
Like Richard and
Yes.
Rick and Ricky.
There's,
Yeah,
you
Ricky.
know.
True. So you could probably fool around in there, yeah.
Well, I mean, I made a decision years ago when I made my resume reel.
Yeah, I love hearing about this. Yeah, how
as
people come up with
yes,
your professional name.
My professional name.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just thought to myself, being a sportscaster, I literally had this decision of labeling my tapes.
Yeah.
Do I go, you know, there's no sportscaster Richard. You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of Dick.
Yeah, you don't want to go there. That first of all, it's in the past, and we can't say it now without laughing.
You know, at least Dick Eisen.
You know, in 1968, maybe.
Right.
But not in 2018.
No, I know. So I was a seer. This decision was made in the mid 90s.
Oh my God, you were prescient.
Yeah, you know, and I saw down the road Dick Eisen didn't work at all.
Yeah.
So,
I wanted so badly to change my name. And Jane
what?
Lynch. Well, I don't know. My mom's maiden name was Carney. And I thought, wouldn't Jane Carney be a really nice name? I was hoping, praying when I joined SAG that there was a Jane Lynch, and I had to change it. But
not at all.
I like it now. I think it's nice. It's it's a 1-2 punch.
It's worked for you.
It has.
It's definitely worked for you.
Yeah.
Are you from Chicago?
I am, yeah. I grew up on the south side in a suburb.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you a fan of any particular Chicago sports team?
Oh, yes. You know, I grew up on the south side, so I should be a Sox fan, White Sox
Correct.
fan. But I love the Cubs. And the reason I love the Cubs is kind of superficial is because when I was growing up, the White Sox were on black and white on WFLD TV, UHF, and the Cubs were on in living color on Channel 9, WGN. So I like the Cubs better. And, you know, in my neighborhood, you did not wear your Cubs hat outside because you get your butt kicked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you're a South Sider who likes the Cubs.
Love the Cubs.
Just because they were in living color locally.
Exactly. And then I, of course, grew to love the boys of summer, as Harry Carey used to call them. And I would watch baseball games while at work. You know, we always had a little TV somewhere.
Where were you working?
I worked temp jobs mostly. And, you know, I'd have on the old transistor radio, and I'd be listening to the game. And if there was a television in the office, we'd have it turned on.
Did you ever meet Harry? Did you ever get fortunate enough through your business at all to meet Harry Carey?
No, I didn't. When
I went to Northwestern Graduate School.
You did?
I did. That's after which is where this big Richard, Rich, Dick thing went down.
Right.
So I went to Northwestern Medill School of Journalism so the reason why I bring that up is I was at school when the Cubs made a managerial change, and they had a press conference at 10 in the morning. So I used my Medill School of Journalism press card, in quotes, to go cover it. And Harry Carey was there at 10 in the morning, several Bloody Marys into the day. And it's something I will never, ever forget. Just seeing him there literally and just... He definitely was not a sober man.
No. And he was a spokesperson for beer. What was it? The Cubs. What was the beer for the Old Style? But when he was, you know, he was the color guy for the Sox.
That's right. Before
when
the
I was
Cubs,
growing up,
right?
And it was Falstaff beer.
What a perfect name for him for Falstaff.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Falstaff is perfect.
Do you think he got the Shakespearean?
Oh
reference?
God, no. I don't think he got that at all. But I loved listening to him. And before that was Jack Brickhouse.
Oh, for sure.
You remember Jack Brickhouse? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in New York City.
Oh, okay.
But I'm an aficionado of broadcasters and broadcasting.
Yeah,
and
of course you are.
So did you have any special sort of emotional moment with the Cubs finally winning it all?
I did, but you know, it was kind of removed because since I lived in Los Angeles, I'm no longer a big sports fan.
Sure.
And
well, you're busy. You've got about a million jobs
going on.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, I was big time when I was a kid.
Right.
And so I was with a little bit of guilt at my Fairweather fandom that I experienced great joy.
I mean, come on. I mean,
great joy watching that series.
But Fairweather fandom doesn't matter when the Cubs break the curse for over 100 freaking years.
Yeah, and they're still quite good. Just.
But you must have known people even on the south side of Chicago for whom a Cubs World Series victory would never have been imagined.
Well,
right?
all of my friends now from high school were way into it, way into it. The whole thing with the Sox and the Cubs, you know, as you get older, doesn't matter so much anymore.
Sure.
And the Sox won, what, about 15 years ago?
They did.
Yeah.
They did. They got there first, which I'm sure was
it was a big deal.
A big deal, obviously, but also that they could stick it to their Cubs friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Jane Lynch here on the Rich Eisen Show. So Ralph Breaks the Internet. You are voicing the character of Sergeant Tamora Jean Calhoun. Are you a video game aficionado?
Not really. No, but
Okay.
I play a character in a video game, and I think it's based on that really violent Army game.
You just named every video game.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. The first movie actually voicing that game. You know, it was really fun.
Okay. And then have you seen the finished product yet?
Oh,
Have you been
yeah.
able to see it?
Oh, I saw the movie Wreck-It Ralph, or what's it called? Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Right.
It's a gem. It's really a gem. It is so sweet and so fun. It's Ralph and Vanellope, John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman, going into the internet. It is so amazingly magical and joyous, and I mean, the imagination on these guys, Rich Moore and Phil Johnston, who are the directors and the writers of this, and we also hear their voices a couple of times, some of the characters. It's just amazing. They are off the charts. It's one of the most delightful hour and a halves I've ever spent.
Well, my kids are 10, 7, and 5. All three of them know it's coming. They're aware it's on their radar screen. I mean, you know,
Make it feel it.
If it's Disney, you can't avoid it.
No,
so,
exactly.
You know,
and
they're
you
excited.
will love it. You know, adults love it as well. There's a lot for the adults.
Yeah, I could see that there from the previews that there's some nuggets for
absolutely
for the adults.
throughout the whole movie, absolutely.
All right, Jane Lynch here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'd love to play Celebrity True or False
Let's do
for the
it.
year. Here we go with
Let's do
Jane
it.
Lynch on the Rich Eisen Show. Hit it, Mike Del Tufo. Hit it, please.
Celebrity True
Keeping it real.
or False.
First up with Jane Lynch, Celebrity True or False. True or False, your first on-screen credit was in the Judge Reinhold Fred Savage classic Vice Versa in 1988.
I would say that's true.
You played Ms. Lindstrom.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
How did you get hooked up with this Judge Reinhold Fred Savage?
Well, I was living in Chicago, and they shot it in Chicago. Fred Savage actually was a kid living in Chicago, and it was a part that they were local. I was a local hire, as they call it. So I did a pre-read with the casting person, and then I read for the director and the writers, and they were all British. And it was a huge deal. I got into a major motion picture.
And then, so how much further along were you with being a Chicago resident in the Chicago classic, The Fugitive?
That came next.
That was next.
That was another movie that came through probably 4 years later.
4 years later.
Yeah, and then I was the local hire for that one as well. Yeah.
That is the most, in my mind, rewatchable movie there is.
Fugitive, does it hold up or what?
It does.
How about that train wreck?
The train wreck at the top, for sure. It's a remote drop for me all the time. Does not matter where it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, and we are such huge fans of the film.
Huge.
We wanted, you know, on behalf of the fans of the film, thank you for catching the switching of the samples.
Oh, the liver samples?
Without you.
You are welcome.
RDU90.
You know?
Wow.
You found it.
know that? I'm so glad you remember that detail, because that's, I would say to people that you don't remember from that. Well, I'm the one who did the liver sample. I solved the mystery.
You did.
Of the liver samples.
Well, you and Bones, you know.
Bones, of course. God, you remember everything.
I'm telling you, I've seen this movie a million times.
And wasn't the relationship between Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones quite wonderful?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. Tommy Lee Jones' character, obviously, they did another movie out of it. But Harrison Ford, perhaps the most beat up movie star of all time.
Yeah,
he gets his.
Oh yeah, well he does his own stunts too. I mean that's his own damn fault.
Is that, did you do your own stunts?
I did all of my own stunts. I actually handled the liver samples with these fingers and ungloved.
See,
That's not sanitary.
you know that's why you're as successful as you are, Jane. You don't leave any stone unturned.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I go the extra mile.
So The Fugitive. I'm so glad we got to catch up on that.
Yeah.
Next one for Jane Lynch. Your character in 40-Year-Old Virgin Paula was originally written as a male character.
Yes, indeed. You know, I have a bit of a history playing characters that were originally written for men, going all the way back to like high school. I played the king in a short version of The Princess and the Pea.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed, it was written for a man, and then with my eternal gratitude, Steve Carell's wife, Nancy Walls, who's a wonderful actress herself, said, you know, because I knew them from Chicago, said, you know, you have a lot of men in your film. Why don't you read Jane for the store manager? And so we improvised together, and we had a lot of fun. And Judd Apatow said, oh, we'll cast her. So I'm very grateful to that whole crew of people for giving me that job.
Do you remember the song you sang in that?
Yes,
film?
I do.
In Spanish, can you?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. I'll just tell you right away that this is from an ALM Spanish dialogue, or dialgo, as you call it. And it's
yes,
and it's a dialogue, and it goes like this: Cuando arreglo en mi cuarto, no encuentro nada. ¿Dónde va con tanta prisa al partido de fútbol? Thank you. And it means whenever I clean my room, I can't find anything. Where are you going with such haste to a football game? It's not romantic at all.
No,
obviously.
But the way it sounds.
Yeah, it's the way you deliver
That's it. You nailed it. You were cast in Best in Show after Christopher Guest directed you in a commercial for Frosted Flakes.
That's indeed correct.
No kidding.
That is correct.
What?
I was doing a bunch of commercials in like 1998, 99, and I went to a callback for a Frosted Flakes commercial, and they had the name of the director up there at the callback, and I went, oh, because Waiting for Guffman was like a transcendent experience for me, watching that movie going, I have to do this. But it was a preposterous fantasy. So anyway, I got into the audition, and he cast me, and
this is for Frosted Flakes. Okay.
And so we're doing, and it was basically improvised type of a thing. And
what are you improvising about cereal?
Yeah, we were. We were. You know, Tony the Tiger. We were stalking Tony the Tiger. We were great fans of Tony the Tiger. And
I don't mean to correct you. You were great fans of Tony the Tiger. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. But.
Sorry, sound guy. And no, very good, very good. And yeah, so that was all improvised. And then at lunch that day, he said to me, "You know, I do movies." And I was like, "Yeah, I know you do movies. Yeah, I know." And he said, maybe we'll get to work again together. And indeed we did. Within like 3 or 4 months, he was casting Best in Show. I ran into him at a restaurant, and he said, I forgot about you. Come to my office today. And he offered me a part.
And you're so fantastic in that movie.
Oh, thank you
and
so
I know
much.
You're a dog lover. By the way, this is
Absolutely.
not part of Celebrity True or False, but we share the same veterinarian, Dr. Patrick Mahaney.
Dr. Patrick Mahaney. Yes,
the best.
Indeed.
He's best in the business.
He is the
He's
best.
Best in show.
He is best in show for sure. Smartest guy.
And that's such a funny movie.
Yeah.
Next one. In 2010, you were nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actress in a Supporting Role for Glee, but you slept through the nomination announcement.
I did. I didn't realize that I'd get nominated for an award. I didn't know that was going to happen. And then my agent called me, and she left me all these messages going, why aren't you awake? Why aren't you awake? You were nominated. You were nominated. So I had like 4 or 5 different voicemail messages from her. And it happens early. It happens at like 5 in the morning.
Right. So, but you turn your phone off overnight? Is that what you
I didn't hear it, I guess. You know, I'm deaf in one ear. We've been through this.
Yes, we have.
And I put the good ear down to go to sleep. I don't hear a damn thing, Rick Eisen. I just called you Rick. It's his new name now.
Do you still have that Frosted Flakes sweatshirt?
I owned that. That was my mother. That was my mother's sweatshirt. It was a button-down sweatshirt that had a little kitty cat caught in some yarn. It was adorable.
I'm watching the commercial right now.
Oh, you're watching it? Oh, good.
Are you seeing it right now?
And actually, that belonged to my mother.
It's amazing.
So you brought your own sweatshirt to
I brought my own sweatshirt.
Gig?
Yeah, I said, what do you think of this? He said, it's perfect.
No wonder Christopher Guest and you got along.
I bring my own wardrobe, Chris.
Man.
And he cast me over and over again because I bring my own wardrobe.
And then you won in the same category for Sue Sylvester the next year.
I did.
And then the rest is history.
Yeah, total.
That was. Did you base that character on anybody at all?
Sue Sylvester?
Yes.
You know, subconsciously, I've kind of realized who I was doing. I had a teacher in college. Her name was Dr. Jean Scharfenberg, and everybody was scared to death of her. Mm-hmm. And she would literally walk through the halls, and the students would split like the Red Sea. You know, everybody was afraid of her. You wanted to have her attention because she was such a great teacher, but you also kind of hid from her because she could be really shaming and mean. But deep down inside, she was so tenderhearted. So I was able to see that about her. I was scared at first, and then I saw, oh, this woman is hiding some great vulnerabilities, and I saw her be vulnerable. A couple of times, and I thought, what a sweetheart, and you don't have to try so hard, So I think that's where I got Sue, because Sue, deep down inside, was a real soft person, but she was mean as hell on the outside.
Well, thanks for coming on the show here,
Sure.
Jane. This has been a fun chat.
It has been
big time
fun.
fun chat.
Thank
Going
you.
down memory lane, and so check out Ralph Breaks the Internet in theaters near you next Wednesday, November 21st. Hollywood Game Night returns next year on NBC, and once again, thank you for your hard work, without which Devlin McGregor could perhaps be in business still today.
Yeah, maybe.
With Dr. Nichols doing his nefarious deeds, and Dr. Kimball would be in jail still.
Oh, I know. Wouldn't
Just
that be
think about
terrible?
it,
He'd be
what you've
rotting
done.
in jail if it weren't for me. And I forget my character's name. It was Kathy Walland. If it weren't for Kathy Walland.
There you go. Mm-hmm. See, it comes back to you.
It does.
But
It does.
unlike the Spanish song from 40-Year-Old Virgin.
It's always right there.
That's always right there.
Always right there.
At Jane Marie Lynch on Twitter. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming
thank
on
you,
again.
Rich.
You bet. Again, Ralph Breaks the Internet in theaters near you right in time for Thanksgiving weekend.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.